We're live outside the US Embassy with Occupy London Anonymous Group. Yeah? Tell us what you think, tell us what's going on, and tell us what it's all about.
Hands off. Let the people decide their own future and get rid of nuclear weapons in this
What is
country.
Occupy? The infinite question. The right to yourselves, the right to protest, your right to free speech, to speak and be heard. You don't have to respect the power of opinion, and you have the right to challenge any opinion peacefully. It's what makes us human. The evolution of discussion, arriving at decisions instead of an elite group of people making them for you. This may well be your last chance to protest peacefully about anything that has pissed you off. Get involved by taking the time to form an opinion. If this bylaw is enforced, we lose our right to free speech.
John Rees from Stop the War. Done. Back in 2001, after 9/11 happened, Donald Rumsfeld signed an agreement to invade 7 Middle Eastern countries and African countries within 5 years. They've done all of them bar Syria and Iran. What is really going on?
Well, I think the critical thing to explain here is the nature of the US project after the failure in Iraq. You see, what they wanted from the Iraq War was a stable, pro-Western, pro-business base for operations in the Middle East. That's not what happened. The Iraq War was a disaster for them. They haven't even got the Status of Forces Agreement, which would have allowed them to leave 50,000 US troops in Iraq. So because of that failure, an unintended consequence is that the Iranian regime is now a much more powerful influence in the region than it would have been otherwise. Now, this is unacceptable to US foreign policy, and the whole rhetoric and the sanctions and the planned attack on Iran are about redressing that balance, about trying to get Iran back in the box, to limit its influence in Syria, to limit its influence with Hamas, to limit its influence with Hezbollah. That's the American project in terms of the attack on Iran.
Okay. Where do you see things going from now? Because we are at an extremely crucial moment in human history. We've gone right back to imperialism, like never before, and this is in the modern age. Fortunately, the world has been able to talk to each other because we've got technology and communications. So, where do you see, or what do we need to do as worldwide and locally?
Well, I think one of the great things that's happened in the last year is that the whole excuse for great power intervention in the Middle East, which was, if we remember, that the people of the Middle East themselves are incapable of dealing with their dictators, that they need military intervention to help them arrive at democracy. Well, that argument is well and truly shot by the Arab revolutions. I was in Egypt only 2 days ago, participating in the demonstration for the anniversary of the Egyptian revolution. It's now absolutely clear to every person on this planet that the people of the region are well capable of making political progress on their own without the help of the major imperial powers. And in my view, stopping the imperial powers intervening in the Middle East and solidarity with the Arab revolutions are two sides of the same coin. The more we stop the imperialists intervening, the more freedom the people of the Middle East have to determine their own future. The more support they get for us, the stronger they'll be against imperialist intervention.
Thank you. One more question. The US, the UK, and now we've got the European Union, a criminal organisation banning the Iranian oil reserves. Is it that we currently have a corporatocracy around the world which controls our governments, and is it going to be essential for us to deal with them to start removing or lowering the effects of colonial power across the world?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've seen very clearly with the economic crisis in 2 European countries, in Greece and in Italy, that elected governments have been essentially deposed and replaced by, the kind word for them is technocrats. But the real meaning of that is that they're bankers and that they serve the corporate interests of those that support them. So very clearly now we see in 2 European countries that the normal processes of even the limited democracy that we had in the past are being abandoned. So in many ways we have some of the same problems that the Arab revolutionaries faced. They faced absolutely unaccountable governments. We face relatively unaccountable governments that are becoming more unaccountable as time goes on. So yes, these are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, because I mean the secondary side, because a lot of people most probably think to a certain degree, there isn't that much resistance in the UK and European countries. However, it has been the case in the past that we were seen as a democracy, but now we actually living in an authoritarian state, and the rules and the laws have been changed at such a pace that we are walking into what the Arab states have been in for such a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who's been in a undemocratic, authoritarian or tyrannical country, and I worked in Egypt with the opposition before Mubarak fell, knows the difference between that and the limited freedoms we have. They're important, but the problem is we're heading in the wrong direction. We aren't heading to a more democratic state, we're heading to a less democratic state, and that's why all of us need to stand together to resist that drive to deprive us of democratic rights that the movement had won in the past, but are now in danger of being taken away from us.
Okay.